Welcome back to London on a Budget. Today we're visiting one of the most famous locations in music history. At first glance it doesn't seem particularly special, it's just a zebra crossing on a residential street in northwest London. But this crossing has become a destination for music fans from every corner of the world. Millions of people have seen it, thousands visit it every year, and all because four musicians walked across it for a photograph in 1969. Today we're exploring Abbey Road, the famous crossing, the legendary recording studios, and why this place remains one of London's most iconic landmarks. This is it, one of the most photographed road crossings anywhere in the world. Every day visitors arrive hoping to recreate one of the most famous album covers ever created. Some wait patiently for a gap in the traffic, others simply walk into the road and hope for the best. Drivers here are generally very patient. They have had decades of practice. The crossing became famous because of the Beatles album Abbey Road, released in September 1969. The cover featured the four band members walking across this very crossing outside the recording studios. What's remarkable is how simple the image is. No special effects, no elaborate design, just four men walking across a road. Yet it became one of the most recognisable photographs in popular culture. Many people imagine the famous photograph took hours to create. In reality, it was surprisingly quick. Photographer Ian Macmillan stood on a stepladder in the middle of Abbey Road. A police officer temporarily stopped traffic while several photographs were taken. The entire shoot reportedly lasted only a few minutes. Out of the images taken that day, one was selected to be the album cover. That simple photograph would go on to become one of the most famous images in music history. At the time, no one could have known that tourists would still be recreating it more than 50 years later. Of course, the crossing is only part of the story. The real reason people come here is the music. The album Abbey Road is often regarded as one of the Beatles' greatest achievements. It featured classic songs including Come Together, Something, and Here Comes the Sun. Many fans consider it to be one of the greatest albums ever recorded. What's especially interesting is that relations within the band have become increasingly difficult by this point. Despite tensions later behind the scenes, they still managed to create an album that remains hugely popular decades later. Sometimes great art emerges even when the circumstances are far from perfect. No discussion of Abbey Road will be complete without mentioning one of music's strangest conspiracy theories. Soon after the album's release, rumours began circulating that Paul McCartney had actually died years earlier and been replaced by a lookalike. Supporters of the theory claimed the album cover contained clues. They pointed out that Paul was barefoot. They noticed that he was out of step with the others. They analysed everything from clothing to number plates. Of course, the theory was completely false, but it became one of the most famous conspiracy theories in popular culture and helped make the Abbey Road cover even more legendary. Just a few steps away from the crossing stands the real star of the show, Abbey Road Studios. Originally opened in 1931, the studios have played a huge role in music history. The Beatles recorded much of their catalogue here and spent countless hours inside these walls. Some of the most influential music of the 20th century was recorded in this building. But the story doesn't end with the Beatles. Artists including Pink Floyd, Oasis, Radiohead and Adele have all recorded here. The studios have been used for film scores, helping bring countless movies to life. For music lovers, this is one of the most important recording studios anywhere in the world. Another famous stop for fans is the famous Abbey Road Wall. Fans from around the globe leave messages, signatures and tributes here. You'll find visitors from every continent sharing their love for the Beatles and music in general. The wall has become a living guest book, a reminder that the Beatles' music continues to connect people decades after it was first recorded. It's fascinating to see messages written in different languages, all celebrating the same music. Nearby you'll also find the Abbey Road Shop. It's filled with Beatles memorabilia, records, clothing and souvenirs. Whether you're a dedicated collector or simply looking for a reminder of your visit, it's become a popular stop for fans. And unlike crossing the roads repeatedly for photographs, shopping here is considerably safer. So that's the story of Abbey Road. What appears to be an ordinary London street has become one of the most famous music landmarks. From a photograph that took only minutes to create, to an album that still inspires listeners decades later, Abbey Road remains an essential destination for Beatles fans visiting London. If you enjoyed this journey into London's music history, please like, subscribe and join me for more London on a Budget adventures. And if you ever visit Abbey Road yourself, don't forget to look both ways before attempting your own album cover recreation. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.